a lot of ridiculous, over-the-top fights in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. From underwater battles to chariot races, ghost towns with zombie puppets, video games, poker, even lottery being involved. But none has come even close to the absurdity that is Janken, rock, paper, scissors. Oh boy. Welcome to my review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamonds Unbreakable episode 26, Janken Boy is Coming. Yes, in this episode, we get a battle of wits with rock, paper, scissors. Featuring the new enemy stand user, if you want to call him an enemy stand user, Ken Oyanagi, and Rohan Kishibe. Yes, this is a Rohan-centric episode, which I was actually okay with. So in this episode, we're introduced to the new enemy stand user, if you want to call him that, Ken Oyanagi. He became a stand user because of the arrow, thanks to Yoshihiro, which we actually learn some new facts about the arrow. Apparently, the arrow chooses the person that has the potential to become a stand user. Not the person who uses the arrow, it's actually the arrow. And this was what Yoshihiro learned from Enya, which is actually very interesting, which would mean that Keicho used the arrow wrong because he used the arrow at any person that he would find. So if he knew about that, then maybe he would have prevented a lot of unnecessary deaths from those who are compatible with the arrow. Now, Ken actually is a fan of Rohan Kishibe, the manga artist. He's a fan of his work and he wants to be like him, a guy that is greatly admired by people. And he is a huge fan of rock, paper, scissors. So he figured that he would go to Rohan and play a game of rock, paper, scissors to beat him, because for him, a game of rock, paper, scissors is a way to test your mentality, your mental strength. And if he beats someone like Rohan, then he would surpass him mentally, in a way, and become much better than Rohan, become like him but surpass him in a way. So yeah, that was Ken's goal, just to beat Rohan in a game of rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. Anyway, with Rohan, he's actually doing some investigation work on finding Kira. Yeah, he's not working on his manga or anything or getting inspiration for his manga. He's actually putting in some work on finding Kira, which I'll give him kudos for that. He was at the subway station taking pictures of various men who work at the office leaving from work because they know that Kira is an office worker and he probably still is now under the guise as Kosaku. He runs into Joseph and the invisible baby and he's actually being polite and respectable towards Joseph, which I thought that he would only be like that with Koichi, but no, he was being polite, respectable, and nice towards Joseph. Probably because Joseph is old and, you know, you gotta respect your elders. But I am glad that Rohan is actually being nice towards Joseph, so I do respect that. Their conversation gets interrupted by Ken, who challenges Rohan to a game of Janken. But Rohan noticed that Ken had this hole in his cheek, and it was so deep and you could see the inside of his mouth, like you can see his tongue, which is really gross. But apparently Ken got that because he fell off the telephone pole after he got hit by the arrow. So that could be because of the effect of getting hit by the arrow, or probably because it was actually part of his stand, which I'll talk about that later. So the kid annoyed Rohan so much that he decided to use Heaven's Door under the suspicion that the kid was a stand user. Reading through the pages, he hadn't found anything about Ken being a stand user or having a stand, so he wasn't suspicious anymore, but that's only because that Ken was slowly developing his stand and he didn't realize that he was a stand user or he had a stand just yet. Well, he decides to go along with playing rock, paper, scissors and he wins because he read that Ken liked to use scissors first, so he technically cheated. We then cut to Rohan at the cafe and we get to see Josuke Okiyasu and Yukako, of all people, hanging out with Josuke Okiyasu, which, as nice as it is to see her interacting with other people that's not Koichi, it's still surprising that she would interact with other people who are not Koichi. So maybe Koichi is there but went to the bathroom, or Koichi was there and he left, or maybe Yukako really wanted to hang out with Josuke and Okiyasu. I don't know. But anyway, the kid shows up again, takes Rohan's seat, and then causes a scene to make Rohan look like the bad guy. So they decide to play another game of rock, paper, scissors, which Rohan wins and brazen glows about it. Yeah, he was being an asshole. But then again, the kid was being annoying. So, yeah, there is that. Jesus, Rohan. By the way, in the cafe scene, while Ken was drinking juice, the juice started to like come out of the hole, which was very gross. I mean, seriously, does that not hurt? He'd probably have to like plug up that hole while he's eating and drinking. That's just so weird. But this kid, I swear, does not know when to give up because he really wants to beat Rohan. He even goes as far as to like going to the bookstore, the same one that Rohan's in, and taking a book that Rohan wanted to read for his manga. And this pissed off Rohan so much that while they're playing a third game of rock, paper, scissors, he chose rock, but he punches the kid in the face. What the fuck, Rohan? I swear. But then again, if I was in Rohan's shoes, I'd be very annoyed, but seriously, punching a kid, really. But it turns out that Ken won because he chose paper, and this is where we get to see his stand's ability, which is called Boy to Man, or Boy Man, because, well, you know, Boy to Man is the name of that R&B group, you know. So yeah, copyright and all that. Okay, Boy to Man has this appearance of armor, like Alphonse from Fullmetal Alchemist, but the head looks more like a samurai helmet, so think of it as like Alphonse with the shredder in a way. And it has the ability to take away a person's stand or stand energy, but it only works if Ken wins a game of rock, paper, scissors. So in a way, it's like the Darby brothers stands Osiris and Autumn, but instead of stealing souls, Boy to Man steals stand's energy and the stands themselves. And by taking a portion of the stand, Ken has the ability to use a portion of the stand's power. If he wins 3 games, he can steal an entire stand and the stand user's energy, all of it. So if Ken took like the entire Heaven's Door, he could use Heaven's Door. But then again, we don't know what would happen to Rohan if his entire stand was stolen and all of his energy was stolen. He could like pass out, or probably still be alive without a stand, or he'd probably die without it, I don't know. But this was actually a very interesting stand ability and an interesting stand itself. So Rohan, knowing that Ken is a stand user and has stolen a portion of his stand's power, has to win to reclaim his stand portion and his energy back. Unfortunately, in the 4th game, he lost, so more of Heaven's Door got stolen. But before they get to the last game, Ken decides to test his luck by calling over Joseph and Josuke, who happen to be walking by, and he says if they come over to them, then that would mean that Ken is unlucky. If not, then Ken has a lot of strong luck. And, you know, since Josuke does not like Rohan, and, you know, Rohan doesn't like Josuke, he doesn't want to go to Rohan, so he decides to leave. Joseph, on the other hand, thought that the kid was a fan, so he decides to leave as well, so they don't come over to him. Which means that Ken is really lucky. He even goes as far as to like break a window and then stand over a shower of broken glass, which none of them hit him. But Rohan was not going to give up. In fact, he declares that he will use paper and he'll win with paper. So they play the next round. Rohan plays paper. Ken uses scissors since he knows that Rohan will play paper, but suddenly his hand had changed to rock, so Rohan won. What the hell happened with Ken? Well, it turns out that luck really was on Rohan's side because he used the invisible baby who was with Joseph to write a command on the invisible baby to make her go invisible and change Ken's hand to rock. Okay, I have questions about this. 1, how the hell did he get the little baby from Joseph since they were far away? 2, when did he have time to write the command on the baby without Ken noticing? Well, then again, Rohan is pretty fast, so yeah. And 3, Rohan, you son of a bitch, you used the baby to win, you fucking cheater! Yeah, you fucking used the baby to win, which I thought was pretty funny, but it was actually cool seeing the invisible baby being used in a fight, and she even did her own Jojo pose, which I thought was pretty cute. But, okay, how did Ken not notice that something was on his arm? How did he not feel like the invisible baby on his, like, arm? Because, like, the invisible baby had to, like, crawl onto Ken, onto his arm, and then change his hands without him realizing it. God, this is really ridiculous. But yeah, Rohan wins. He was gonna use Heaven's Door to make sure Ken doesn't use his stand anymore and never play rock, paper, scissors again. But Ken wasn't gonna give up, so he used his stand to grab the invisible baby and threaten her life. And, you know, Rohan wasn't gonna let a baby die because, you know, he's not that much of an asshole, really. So he challenges him again to another game of rock, paper, scissors, which he wins 3 times in a row. But Ken was a stubborn son of a bitch, so he didn't want to be controlled by Rohan. He doesn't want to, like, lose his ability. So what he does is he jumps in front of a moving truck. He was willing to kill himself rather than be controlled by Heaven's Door and never play rock, paper, scissors again. He would rather die than have that happen to him. What the fuck, kid? Like, I swear. Rohan, being moved over how dramatic Ken was, decides to save his life by jumping in front of the truck with all this energy and wind coming out of him. Which, by the way, I forgot to mention this, Yoshihiro was there to observe the fight, and he got caught up in the wind that blew the photo. Which, by the way, he was still in the photo. He can't get out. God damn, I guess it's because of Adam Harfather. But anyway, he got caught in the wind and got stuck on the windshield of the truck, which caused the driver to, like, turn around. Rohan and Ken dodging them and continued to drive. And Yoshihiro, like, got out and left, and that was pretty much it. I'm sorry, this episode is so ridiculous. So, moved by what Rohan did, Ken admits defeat. Rohan decides not to use Heaven's Door on him, but tells him not to use his stand for evil. And then Joseph and Josuke, like, run towards Rohan because they lost the invisible baby. And even though the baby was put down on the sidewalk, it turned invisible and Rohan lost the baby, so they have to search the invisible baby. By the way, how did Joseph not notice the invisible baby on his arms? I mean, you'd think that, you know, he wouldn't feel anything without the weight of the baby, but I guess they realized it late. But anyway, they gotta find the invisible baby, otherwise she'll get hurt. And that was pretty much it from the episode. The end. God, this episode was so dumb. So yeah, that was episode 26. Overall, this was ridiculous. This was a ridiculous, stupid, dumb episode, but I liked it. I don't know why, but I did. But I will say this. It was definitely entertaining, and I got a kick out of it. I kind of liked it. It was so weird. I don't know why, but I did. I mean, was it necessary to the plot? No. Did it have anything to do with Kira? No. It was just a filler episode in a way. The new enemy stand user, Ken. This kid was just... I mean, I don't hate him. He's pretty annoying, you know? I mean, he was so stubborn and persistent, bugging Rohan to play a game of rock, paper, scissors, which, you know, according to his character, is understandable because he wants to surpass Rohan. He wants to beat him mentally in a game of rock, paper, scissors, even though he greatly admires him. But he's so annoying in this episode. I mean, people think that Shigechi was annoying. Fuck that. This kid was so much more annoying. Like, jeez. And we're never gonna see him again, so, like, yeah, forget him, really. But I will admit, his stand, Boy to Man, was actually an interesting stand. I would have liked to see what would happen if Ken used that stand and won all 3 games. If he were to, like, steal the entire stand and the person's energy, that would mean that he could use the stand itself. He would keep the stand. And would that mean that if he kept using it, would he get, like, more than one stand? He could use more than one stand ability? I mean, there's a lot of possibilities there, but yeah, Boy to Men, interesting stand. Yoshihiro in this episode, well, it was cool that we got to learn some more stuff about the arrow. I still wish we could have, like, learned more about his adventure in Egypt and how he met Enya and, you know, like, him getting the arrow, but, you know, we're not going to get any of that. We're not going to get more about the arrow until part 5, but I can't take Yoshihiro seriously anymore. I can't take him seriously because, like, he's like the Enya of this part. I mean, him sending out stand users to, like, go after Josuke and the others, which, again, I don't know how he's going to convince them to, like, go after Josuke and the others, but according to him, those who get hit by the arrow will become his allies, so I guess because of the arrow though becomes allies. I don't freaking know, but the more I think about it, Yoshihiro, he reminds me of a Power Ranger villain. You know, how the Power Ranger villains always send out monsters to go after the Power Rangers and they always like lose after every episode. Kinda like that. Yeah, so I can't take him seriously anymore. Rohan, he was actually pretty neat in this episode. I mean, the dude was a fucking asshole as always. I mean, what do you expect? It's freaking Rohan. I mean, the dude punched a kid, like, come on. But I will admit, he's starting to grow on me. Like, I'm starting to kind of like the guy, even though I hate to admit it, you know. But he did good in this episode, but he was a fucking asshole, and he had to use a baby to win. He fucking cheated, but then again, we've seen some of the main characters cheat before, so yeah. But one thing's for sure, I will not trust him to babysit kids. And speaking of kids, the invisible baby, I actually wasn't expecting her to be used in a fight at all, not since her debut, but yeah, she got to participate, which was neat. I actually liked how she was being used, even though it was kind of a dickish way. But her doing that boom pose, her first Jojo pose, I thought that was cute, you know. Animation artwork was actually very good. I mean, I like how they animated the rock, paper, scissors battle because it was so ridiculous and over the top. They had to jump so high just to play Janken. I mean, what the hell? And the stand energies, especially when Rohan jumped in front of the truck, I mean, like, what the hell? But it's Jojo. Jojo's always ridiculous and over the top, and that's what I love about Jojo. Voice acting also was very good. Ken Oyanagi was voiced by Chika Sakamoto, who's actually worked on several older anime series, but you guys probably know her best as Agumon from the Digimon series, and Ko Yaten, Sailor Star Healer, whatever, from the Sailor Moon Sailor Stars arc. It's actually an arc that I haven't actually seen because, you know, it was never really dubbed, but, you know, because of, like, the males turning to females and all that. Fucking dick, I swear, but maybe I'll check out that arc. I don't know if it's good or not, but okay, whatever. Anyway, she also voiced Noriko from Fushigi Yugi, and she was also Chio from the Toriko anime. I also gotta give kudos to Takahiro Sakurai as Rohan. He did a good job, as well as Shigeru Chiba as Yoshihiro, which I forgot to mention, he also voiced Kuwabara from the Yu Yu Hakusho series. I totally forgot about that, sorry about that. So yeah, overall this fight was so ridiculous, it's so over the top, it's kind of stupid and dumb, but it's actually a very nice episode. It's actually surprisingly entertaining and I really like it. But the absurdity is not gonna stop because the next episode, I'm an alien! Aliens in Jojo! Oh my god, I can't wait to see this. It's gonna be freaking awesome. I really hope that aliens exist in Jojo. I mean, that would be freaking awesome, you know? But yeah, I'm an alien, the next episode. Probably the next stand user thinks he's an alien or he is an alien, who knows, but I'm looking forward to seeing the next episode. So tell me guys, what'd you think of this episode of Diamonds Unbreakable? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think of Ken and his stand Boy to Man? What did you think of the rock, paper, scissors battles, which I thought was so ridiculous, but I liked it. So weird. And what'd you think of Rohan in this episode? You know, even though he's an asshole, he's really starting to grow on me. Yeah. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you like it, subscribe to more videos, and be sure to check my Facebook fan page and Google+. So yeah, that was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamonds Unbreakable episode 26. I'm Lawrence Brown 27, and I'll see you guys next time on episode 27. I'm an alien. It's gonna be so freaking awesome and ridiculous. I'm gonna love this. See ya.